In September 2024, a government committee published a report on the assassination attempt on Donald Trump in July of that year in Butler, Pennsylvania. It reveals how a whole chain of senseless miscalculations and glaring mistakes by the U.S. Secret Service allowed a 20-year-old man to fire 8 shots and wound the presidential candidate. Today, I will answer a number of questions that have remained unanswered until now. How did Crooks manage to get so close to a rally surrounded by such enormous security? Why were warnings from people who saw a man with a weapon ignored? Why couldn't the Secret Service protect Trump? And most importantly, why is any U.S. president still in danger? Early in the morning, Thomas Matthew Crooks leaves his house in Bethel Park, gets in his car, and prepares to drive to the rally. Today is a significant event. The Republican presidential candidate Donald Trump is coming to his state. Thomas is also a Republican and registered for the rally in advance, a week ago. Working as a dietitian at a local nursing home, he even took the coming Saturday off. However, on this day, he did something else unusual at first glance, namely a Google search with the following text: "How far was Oswald from Kennedy?" The day before, on Friday, Crooks spent time at a shooting range, practicing shooting while lying down. And all this for only one reason. Today, he intends to kill Donald Trump. At the same time, Louis Sullivan, a U.S. Secret Service employee, is also preparing for the upcoming event. They have reliable intelligence about an Iranian plot to assassinate Trump. Therefore, today they are taking an unprecedented step and sending a counter-sniper unit, of which he is a member, to Butler to ensure the security of the rally. But they decide to act on their own and do not pass on information about the threat to the local office in Pittsburgh or other Secret Service employees on the site. There is still plenty of time before Trump's arrival, so on the way to the rally, Crooks stops at gun and hardware stores. In one of them, he buys 50 rounds of ammunition, and in the other, a ladder. He puts all the purchases in the car, which already contains his father's AR-15 rifle, a drone, and 2 homemade explosive devices. Today, Crooks is determined. He has several plans of action in mind after arriving at the scene. Crooks doesn't yet know that a lot is already working in his favor. For example, shortly before this, Trump's advanced team agents were denied additional drone equipment and extra agents by the Secret Service without any reason, and the only operator of drone detection equipment has been unable to start the system for a long time. He has absolutely no experience and had no more than an hour of general instruction and training on this technology. He calls the technical support hotline to help him with the malfunction. At this time, Thomas Crooks arrives at the scene. He parks his car in close proximity to the rally site. There are 2 explosive devices in the car, and Crooks has a remote control. He will be able to detonate them from a considerable distance. But for now, Crooks takes out his drone and launches it to carefully study the site of the future operation. He explores the area for a whole 11 minutes without attracting the attention of the Secret Service, because at this time, the system that can detect him is not working, and its only operator has been talking to technical support for a long time. The counter-sniper group is also on site and preparing to do their job. However, its member Louis Sullivan has a problem with the radio provided by the agency. This wasn't the first time, though. He is busy troubleshooting, and because of this, he doesn't have time to pick up the local radio. Not much time remains before Donald Trump's speech begins. In just a few hours, Thomas Matthew Crooks will fire his first shots at the presidential candidate. Before we continue, I have a favor to ask of you. I make videos myself, and it's quite a labor-consuming and expensive process. So, the best way to show your gratitude would be a like and a subscription. Thank you. Approximately 40 minutes before Trump takes the stage, Crooks heads towards the rally, planning to attend the speech. But seeing metal detectors at the entrance, he begins to doubt his plans. He has a rangefinder in his hands. Crooks takes a few more steps, turns around, and leaves. At this moment, one of the policemen notices his strange behavior. His attention is drawn to the rangefinder in the young man's hands. He passes on information about a suspicious young person trying to get to the rally. Secret Service agents responsible for the outer perimeter try to find him, but fail. For some reason, the information about Crooks is not passed on to key employees. At this moment, Thomas moves to Plan B and heads to the American Glass Research, or AGR building, which is located less than 200 yards from the former president's speech site. And again, some huge luck pursues Crooks. The thing is that currently no one is responsible for the security of this building. The Secret Service is confident that Butler Emergency Services are watching the building, although they reported that they don't have such an opportunity due to a lack of personnel. Crooks leans a ladder against the building and climbs onto the roof with a weapon. Dozens of people see him and pass the information to the police.
Officer, people in our country that should have criminals.
He's on the roof. He's right here.
We have people that
Right
should not be
here,
here.
right on the roof.
It's much
He's
tougher
clearing up now.
But the police are separated from the Secret Service's own communication channel and cannot quickly transmit information. Cellular communication is unstable and becomes a problem when one of the officers tries to share the first photos of Crooks. Key Secret Service employees still don't know about the suspicious person on the AGR building roof. So Donald Trump, to thunderous applause, takes the stage and begins his campaign speech. One of the policemen with his partner decided to independently check the AGR building. He also decided to climb onto the roof to inspect it. The policeman pulled himself up and was about to climb onto the roof when at that moment, he saw Thomas Crooks lying down and aiming his rifle at him. Finding himself unarmed against the suspect, the policeman was forced to jump down and flee the scene.
I wasn't even concerned about it because I thought someone was on the roof. I thought that's how can you lose a guy?
Louis Sullivan and his counter-sniper group are in their positions and scanning the area, including the AGR building for possible threats. They still don't know about the suspicious armed person on the building's roof because they don't have local radios. Moreover, they don't see the potential threat because the part of the AGR building's roof is obstructed from their view. Louis sees through his scope police officers running towards the AGR building with weapons at the ready. And although the sight of the police raised the threat level, the thought of informing someone from security to remove Trump from the stage doesn't occur to him. About 2 minutes before the shooting began, the Secret Service security room located on the rally grounds was informed that there was a person on the roof of the AGR building. But Donald Trump will continue his speech. He turns to the right and points to a chart on the screen, when at this time, a shot rings out, and the first bullet pierces the upper part of his right ear. Later, he will say that this head turn saved his life and prevented the bullet from hitting him directly in the head. Trump crouches behind the podium after 3 shots, and Secret Service agents cover him with their bodies. Crooks opens fire again and fires 5 more shots. As a result, 50-year-old rally participant Corey Comparatore is killed, and 2 other spectators are seriously injured. One of the local security services snipers is the first to spot Crooks, aims, and fires 1 shot at the shooter. He doesn't wound him, but stops him for a while. After this shot, Crooks is forced to stop shooting and hide for a moment. When Crooks appears again to continue shooting, Louis Sullivan spots him in the scope and eliminates him. A few minutes later, Trump is led off the stage after being informed that the shooter has been eliminated. Secret Service employees discover after examining Crooks' body a transmitter that he failed to activate. This story describes in great detail several glaring mistakes of the Secret Service, which is responsible, in particular, for the security of the nation's top officials. Referring to the detailed government report on the assassination attempt, the following errors can be highlighted. Information about the Iranian threat was not passed on to site employees, and although the FBI did not establish Cook's connection with Iran, the mere knowledge of a real threat should have automatically led to increased security measures. No one was responsible for the security of the building from which the shooter fired. Requests for additional security were rejected, and the lack of communication between police officers and the Secret Service, as well as radio communication problems, allowed Trump to take the stage and begin his speech while there was a real threat to his life. This story makes us think about many things. Is what happened a coincidence? Or are there systemic errors of the US Secret Service? Have conclusions been drawn? And how long will it take to prevent this from happening again? Because otherwise, all top officials of the state, including the president, may be in danger. What do you think? Write in the comments.